Hi, and welcome to the second episode of the Learn How to Meditate crash course. This episode will focus on calm abiding meditation, or known in Sanskrit as shamatha or shine in Tibetan. This type of meditation is a very foundational meditation practice, which is usually practiced in the beginning of one's meditation and spiritual path in Tibetan Buddhism, although it is also one of the more difficult meditations to practice, especially for us Westerners, as it focuses on calming down the mind to having as still mind as possible by training the attention to choose which object it rests upon. So because our mind is so scattered and we're constantly thinking about different things, and this has been going on for a long time in our lives, that pattern, that behavior has become very stuck in many people in the West. And so to train this is to actually to start thinking in a different way, to slow down the mind, to be able to have more control over your attention can take a long time, and it can also be very frustrating. And so that's why it's so very important that we use the tools we've gained from the previous week of practicing mindfulness and also practicing with Maitri and Bodhicitta, and to really further this week's meditation practice. And this is something which is practiced for years before uh, Buddhist monks go on to next meditation. So this is something we can spend a lot of time on, and before we start to see real development. So even if you meditate an hour every day for a full week, you might not really get to feel the real benefits of this meditation. So my advice is to add a little bit of this kind of meditation to your practice every day, even in the future. No matter what practice you're doing, a little bit of shamatha, especially in the beginning, can be really good. So what is calm abiding meditation, or shamatha, or shine? Simply put, it is training your attention to be able to rest on a chosen object. And the way this is trained is by choosing an object. Traditionally, it is either the breath or a candle light, the flame of a candle, or it could be a spiritual object like a Buddha statue. And so what you do is you gaze on that object, you keep your attention on that, and then you just breathe calmly, slowly, and when thoughts come, then you return. So that is the practice of returning. You do that again and again, over and over. When your attention goes somewhere else than your chosen object, you pull it back. But it's important that you do so with Maitri, with loving kindness. So you don't end up using force or effort or concentration in this practice, because that could end up being very frustrating, and you could also end up very tense because of it. So when you practice, you shouldn't practice solely on the object, trying to close everything down, using concentration to stay with your chosen object, but to do so in a very light way. And just as you do when you are with someone you love, then your attention naturally goes to your beloved object or beloved person. So best you can, try to enjoy this meditation, try to find something, an object that your mind is naturally drawn towards. That way it will be a lot easier. And also while you're practicing, try to maintain a little bit of open awareness, because if you focus on one object and you do so over a longer period of time, your mind will eventually think, oh, okay, nothing's happening. So slowly it will start to shut down and more and more and more and go into, I'm starting to fall asleep mode. And the result of that will be sort of like nodding meditation, where you feel like you're almost falling asleep. And if that happens, like open your eyes, taking the light around you. You can look up. That can help to waken the mind and body. So yeah, practice in a light way with open awareness. Don't be frustrated when your mind goes somewhere else, because that happens to everyone. Be kind to yourself. Return in a loving way with joy, because every time you return, that's how you are strengthening the muscle. The muscle of your attention is strengthened. So it's be happy every time you have that opportunity. And every time you catch yourself, oh, I'm daydreaming, I'm not practicing, that's a good thing, because as soon as you notice that, then you return. And that's how you strengthen that muscle. So let us practice a few minutes. As always, start by checking in, observing how your body feels in this moment. Breathing into the areas where you're holding tension, but also appreciating the areas of your body that feel light, that feel joyful, alive. And then for the purpose of this meditation, we will use the breath as the object. You can use whatever object you want when you practice during the week. So notice the breathing. Notice how it feels when you breathe in. The chest expanding. The cold air reaching your nostrils. And the slightly hotter air leaving your nostrils. Don't try to control the breath. Just observe it. Pay attention to it in a curious and light way, as if you are breathing for the first time, full of joy and wonder. Wow, the breath is so mysterious. It is such a gift. It's keeping me alive, and it's happening by itself. And when the mind leaves your dancing partner, you return with a soft smile. It is that simple. And you do so again and again. So I invite you to practice for 10 to 15 minutes on your own.